Welcome back to Bros in a Landfill, the only official podcast that's also a bootleg.
Your hosts this week are Tar, the guy with a tar with a face.
How do I have a tar for a face?
That's just how it works.
Well, fuck.
There's me. We have a guest this week, Guardian Dreamer, here to fill in Dizzy's hole in my heart.
I don't see a Guardian Dreamer anywhere.
Well, that's because he is you.
Oh no, I think he's gone. We gotta shut down the podcast.
Fuck.
It's over, guys.
This is the shortest episode of the podcast. I'm sorry. 1 minute.
And this
Bye.
this has been Bros in a Landfill, and I didn't even introduce myself. The name's Try, and
See you next week.
I mean, that would make things easier for me.
I think it'd make things easier for all of us. Why are we doing this?
Why are we doing this? This was your idea, Try? What the fuck?
It's so I become a better communicator, okay? Because I am shit at talking to people. And I've been slowly getting better each week thanks to you fun folks.
Yay! You're doing good. So what the fuck are we talking about this week?
There's this new
maybe I should introduce myself first.
Oh, that would probably be a good idea.
Let's let GD
This is the GD talk.
This is the GD cast. Thanks for watching.
Okay. Hi everyone. In case you don't know who I am, and how could you? I'm Guardian Dreamer, also known as GD, Dreamer, Guardian, Gordy. Any of those variations will work. I don't know, I'm just a random dork that they picked up out of the street, basically. I don't do anything.
Yeah. Don't you, administrate the Ace Attorney Online chat room?
Yes, I do that, and, I also write stuff sometimes in between sessions of complaining about college and my workload.
Sounds like you've got quite the credentials to me.
Yeah.
Best cast member.
Yeah. Already better than Dizzy.
No, I'm just like the poor man's Dizzy. I'm basically the Poochie.
Well, you've got the self-dep down.
I mean, he's more of like an anti-Dizzy, because, he's Dizzy's evil twin.
I mean.
Wait, I think Dizzy is GD's evil twin.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Gosh, Try, get your Bros in a Landfill lore right.
I'm sorry. It's not like I made this
there
already.
Was
Anyways, so GD, what you've been up to this past week?
This past week, well, aside from, college stuff, I've been playing video games and reading books and having a successful social life.
Oh, gosh! Wait, you're having a successful social life? That's not allowed on this podcast.
Yeah. Speaking of
We're
games,
gonna have to excommunicate you, GD. Sorry, not sorry.
It's okay.
GD's been officially banned from the podcast.
I can wait until, the end of the episode. Then you can excommunicate me from your landfill religion cult.
we need to milk him for all he's worth. Anyways, speaking of games, has there been anything in particular that you've been playing?
So this is just a lead up to Dragalia Lost, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It's absolutely a.
Dragalia
Lost. It's a video game.
I too have been playing video games, but not this one. But we're doing majority rules here, so fuck me.
Well, we're gonna convince you to play it because it's not bad.
You'll never convince me to play anything I don't want to play.
But have you even looked at it?
I have not. Thank you very much.
Well, screw you. Because it is a decently standard action RPG mobile game made by Cygames, published by Nintendo, with a pretty passable story, phenomenal soundtrack, and pretty great character designs.
So I'd say it's like, try, how far into the story are you?
I am at the end of chapter 6.
Okay, so you're like almost done with what they've released
Yeah.
so far.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say that like we're now the Dragalia Lost podcast, and so we have to show for it, and we're going to ban Tar for not playing it.
Yeah,
Ah,
Tar's
shit.
excommunicated. He's excommunicated to the trash room until he plays the game.
So
Fuck.
like,
Wait a minute. But we're in a landfill. This entire thing is the trash room.
Yeah, no, the trash room is what leads to the landfill. You're kicked out of the landfill into the trash room.
What?
Yeah.
This is bullshit. I'm one of the founding members.
Yeah, well, you haven't played Dragalia
well,
Lost. This is the Dragalia Lost chat now.
Fuck.
So
It's always your own.
should I just give like a basic summary of what Dragalia Lost is for people?
Yeah, that'd be for the best to kick this off.
So like I'll give like a basic summary and like a basic summary of the initial premise that won't spoil anything. Okay, so it's published by Nintendo, who are this obscure company who publishes the Mario Man video games. And there's the actual developer is Cygames, who are known for Grand Blue Fantasy, which I constantly mix up with Final Fantasy. And I think they did something else. Was it Rage of Bahamut? I'm not sure, but they're pretty legit, basically.
Get an anime adaptation at some point.
Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised, but it's like so the initial premise is like you're the prince of this kingdom place, and your dad is like, well, son, I have to go do this important thing, so go get yourself a dragon so you can defend the kingdom while I'm gone. And that's where you start. And then your prince, whose like default name is Yuden or something, he goes to do that because he's got nothing better to do. He's got like a ton of older brothers and sisters, so they're all doing their own thing. Anyway,
I was gonna say, why don't they have dragons?
They do have dragons, sort of. It's complicated. We don't have enough information about everyone yet. Anyway, it's like, so he goes to get his dragon thing, and then you start off getting beat up by generic enemies, which is already a great start, and then his younger sister saves him, and that's where you start. You have to go get the dragon. I'm not sure what else to say, honestly. It's like, it's got like, so I should have described the gameplay probably. It's sort of like a beat-em-up action RPG, which I didn't expect.
It's very much like beat-em-up hack and slash, depending on which characters you play as. Controls are real simple. You slide your finger around to move, and dodge roll, then you just tap to attack. But it's actually a lot more, there's a little bit more nuance to the combat that can really increase high-level play.
Well, basically, here's what you do to win the game. When the game tells you you're, like, facing, like, a certain element, you ignore that and just use, like, completely unfitting characters and then wonder why you lost.
Yeah, really, the key in the game is to have one particularly strong character, then a team of people who can just match the elemental affinity. Well, make sure they're not weak against the
so it's kind of like Pokemon except medieval.
It's like early mid game you can get away with not counter doing the opposite, like the worry about strengths and weaknesses. But by chapter 6, if you got water people on your team, they're gonna be going down real quickly.
It's like basically the game teaches you very early on that you should care about the elemental strengths and weaknesses because your default your default main character, the prince, he's like a fire type, right? And so he's weak to the water. And an early game chapter has like nothing but water enemies, and that's supposed to be like your sign that you should take him out of the party and try other people. But then what I did was bash my head against the wall and get through anyway with him.
Yeah. Yeah, the first few chapters are like, I think I'd say chapters 1 through 3 aren't very difficult. If you have low level people or not worrying about elements. By time, like, really, if you've got when you get to chapter 6, if you got any water people in they're going down. That's all I gotta say.
Is there like lightning in chapter 6 or?
Well, it's a rock paper scissors. That's the thing where you got fire is strong against wind, wind is strong against water, water is strong against fire, and then there's light and darkness, which are strong against each other.
So basically, with light and darkness, the game basically cheats for you because like. If you've got a light person, then they resist dark and are strong against it, and the opposite is also true. So basically, if you have one of those characters, they're never gonna have their weaknesses exploited.
Yeah, it's that's one thing about the game that's got me a little bit.
That sounds incredibly counterintuitive.
I mean, it is and it isn't because like light and dark enemies are, I'd say, rarer in general.
Yeah, well, it kind of depends on like because each stage, like there's like each chapter is like based around like a certain element. So chapter 5 is a dark element stage, and if you stock your party up with light element people, it's not too bad. Outside of like the last fight.
Well, you see, what ended up happening for me is like I couldn't summon any light party members, so I just had like the one that the game gives you, and that's Luca, and he's like a good archer boy and all, but he can't carry the game for me.
Yeah, I've been like summoning like a madman whenever I have the chance, so I've got like. Let me just pull up my party real fast. I've got quite a few of each type. I've got 2 banner 5 stars.
You can't carry the game using archers. Automatic 0 out of 10.
Yeah. I don't understand this reference of yours.
I play ranged tanks, damn you.
Is this like a MOBA thing? Actually, while we're at it, I guess I can elaborate on something else about the format of the game. It's one of those, gacha video games where you're supposed to summon people to do your bidding and like they're trying to extract money out of you and stuff.
Yeah.
And it's like that's always been kind of sleazy to me, but I do think so far this has been fairer than most, but with the stipulation that I think that this is extremely early on and like they could make it super grindy and make it horrible. I don't know.
Yeah, so far it seems to be very generous with how it gives out its early game summoning materials. Like and I've been doing pretty good with the pool, like the summons. Because I've got
so I wanted to say like what my primary worry was about that actually.
Yeah.
So have you looked into so another thing that you can do to raise up your numbers and win more is they've got like this weapon crafting system, and it looks like for the higher level stuff you need like a ridiculous amount of materials to max out everything, and that's what I'm scared about.
Yeah, it looks like there's going to be some heavy grinding, but I do feel like there are some things about this game that like I agree. Like the crafting system seems a bit much. interestingly enough, they give you these items that let you skip. Like if you've beat all the like missions in a quest, you can skip playing it.
You mean the
So
skip
that might
ticket
be
stuff?
yeah, the skip tickets.
I mean,
That
you get
might
like
be
one of those per day.
yeah, I know, but that might be end up being an easier way to grind for certain like crafting material. Also,
Hmm?
each day in the game you get there's a free item summon. So
I don't
it's
think
not
people
like
are
it's
going to know what item summons are if you don't elaborate.
yeah, okay, so if you go into the shop,
Yeah,
because it's something that I kind of just stumbled upon when I was playing the game,
yeah.
because it doesn't really spell out that it's something you can do. Um, but if you go into the shop, it's got like a notification thing. If you follow through the notifications into upgrade essentials, and then there's a thing called an item summon, which lets you can spend 50 summoning materials to summon a bunch of crafting items, or every day once per day you can do it for no cost.
So I'm going to ask Tar something.
Hmm.
Okay, are you listening?
I am.
Okay, how lost do you feel right now?
Dragalia Lost.
I'm not laughing.
I don't know how you didn't expect that answer.
No,
Yeah,
no, you
that was
don't
perfect.
understand. I was going to make that pun at you.
The fastest draw in the West.
Yeah. Yeah. No, there's a lot of non-standard sorts of things in this game. It feels very packed. Like
Yeah, for like a mobile game like this, it's very like I've been playing it a lot. It's been allowing me to play a lot more than other mobile games have.
yeah, that's something I can definitely agree. Like I have yet to run out of stamina, and and I partially I think because some of the it's not like the stages are relatively quick. Early on, yeah, but if you're doing like it can take a few minutes, and then
Um,
I guess at this point also considering that we're all low level, we're gonna be getting player level ups quickly, which just refill
yeah.
stamina.
Uh, have you been doing like the raid event?
Yeah, I've been doing the raid event quite a bit.
Okay, so I'm gonna
I'm
talk
assuming
about
that's like a
that
once
first.
daily kind of thing.
Well, there's a special event going on right now to the 15th where there's this big bad boss that you can team up with other players to send your whole teams out and take down, and you can
Um,
get some pretty sweet things from it.
so like I'm I'm going there's like a lot of flaws in that system because
Yeah.
it's very fun but also like it falls apart very fast if you have one bad player.
Oh yeah. Oh no, definitely. If you're
Because
I've noticed that quite a bit.
because
So
like I've
don't
been
invite me for the raids.
Well, no, it's not even just like bad player, but like low level players too. Because since it's a level like, well, I guess because the term they use is might. It's like the overall strength of your team is
I mean
measured
like
by all the individual equipments that it gives out a raw number for you to say, oh, this is how much this person has.
I mean like
But even so, someone who doesn't,
here's the issue. It's less about the might for me and more like okay, so going back to the elemental weakness thing, your
yeah,
ideal party for this is going to be like entirely water because you're facing fire type opponents
yeah,
and they give you a water type for free. She's
hmm
pretty cool, but
yeah,
like a
and she
lot of
has like
yeah.
extra damage on the other boss. It's not the raid boss.
But it's like so if you've got like you end up having like a lot of people who don't use a water type party and might even have people who have weaknesses to the boss just because that ends up with a higher might, not realizing
Yeah,
no, you should have a water type
yeah,
party.
yeah. My current build is Ezalith as my main character because I can rack up 200 hit combos with her. The Celiera, who's the main girl, like who's like the event girl. Then I pulled a 5-star Lily, and her she's a water type with a great special. And then I've got what's her face I got Cleo on the end just for healing because I don't have any decently strong healers
I'll
outside of her.
I'll look at what my party for this event is. It's I think it's pretty good because they're all water types.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't have a 5-star water type. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, so in case anyone here does not know literally anything about gacha, there are like character rarities and stuff, and like higher rarity is better. There's an option to promote people, but I don't know how that works yet.
Well, you collect these things called Eldwater through the game and by getting duplicates, and you essentially just get enough Eldwater to promote somebody.
Yeah. Okay. So my party is the event lady who's Celiera. I think that's how you pronounce it. She's like hardcore sword lady who likes muscles, I guess. She's cooler than I'm making her sound. She's my lead. Then I've got Ellison, who's another party member you get through the main story. Then I have Luther, who's a dancer boy who is like the most positive character in the entire game. I love him. He's so good. And then at the very end I've got Axe Boy, Rex. He's like a huge man. He's only 3 stars, but he's good.
Mm.
And that's the group for the event, and that's how I'm... And now just imagine that mismatched group slaying a boss 1,000,000 times forever.
Yeah, no.
That's a video game.
Mm-hmm. And then there's also an event exclusive dragon called Pele.
Yeah, I've
Finally, we're getting to the dragon. We're getting to the to the Dragalia part of Dragalia Lost.
Is Pele supposed to do extra damage against the
I don't
big
know
boss?
because like I only recently rolled him, and he's not a water type dragon, so I haven't used him.
Yeah, see, since I'm still using my Ezalith, because I've got her high level, and as I said, I can pull off crazy combos with her because I'm used to her cadence and flow.
Yeah.
I can deal. She does the most damage of my entire party just by the sheer fact of how I've gotten used to her.
Yeah.
But because one of the things about this game that's interesting is that whenever you use a skill, it puts you in a state of invincibility. So if you see the boss is like about to attack, you can just go into a skill and just continue to deal damage while they're attacking, and it won't bother you. And
you're using those invincibility frame strats, the top level tier players and stuff.
Well,
what's
nice with Ezalith is it's a flurry of flame swords, so it takes a while. Like it's not a short like frame of invincibility, so I can just use it and be fine most of the time.
I feel like I should clarify something for Tar because I realized we never addressed it. So Tar, here's how the dragons work in Dragalia. Okay, so basically in the plot, your main character, Prince Guy, who's a good boy who does his chores and is very nice, he can like summon the powers of a dragon and become a dragon in the battlefield.
Oh, that sounds lovely. I think that was a cartoon once on Nickelodeon.
Probably.
So like in the story, it's supposed to only really be him and a few other characters who can do it and not your party members, but like they let you do it with your party members because it wouldn't be fair otherwise. So basically your super mode is channeling the power of the dragon, becoming the dragon, and trying to destroy everything before time runs up and you turn back to normal.
But I thought we were a good boy who does his chores. Why would we want to destroy shit?
Because people are bad and they try to hurt you.
Oh, well then that's reasonable.
Yeah, bunch of baddies out there, including spoilers.
Yeah, that some stuff happens.
Yeah, even though the story does come off as a bit generic fantasy, it does have some interesting
Here's
things it does with
where
it.
Dragalia is for me. I'd say it's mostly generic with a few neat twists here and there, but but the dialogue is like results in it being very well told that I honestly am fine with it.
Yeah, no, I that's kind of where I stand too. It's like it's nothing. The plot itself is nothing special, but it's so well written, which is coming off of Devil's well,
D2,
that,
DX2,
D2.
whatever.
Your favorite video game ever.
Yeah, after coming off of D2, it's a breath of fresh air.
Tell me about all of the ways in which D2 was better and you loved it more.
Well, you see, the thing about D2 is that it's like the main character keeps getting shit on by all the other characters, and that really gets my since I'm a sadist, that really gets my rocks off.
I didn't expect this to be part of the podcast. I feel like it could have been warned ahead of time.
Wait, hang on. You're a sadist? I think you mean masochist.
No, I'm gonna say this because I like watching the main character because I don't associate with that
blank
slate.
Oh, okay. That makes more sense.
I mean, does it? I still have a lot of questions.
Yeah, no, I'm just memeing at this point.
I thought this entire podcast was a meme.
Yeah,
it really was.
It was a meme. It's the logical extreme of the meme.
Yeah.
This is just a thing we do every week out of obligation.
Yeah, it really is. Speaking of Dragalia Lost,
yeah,
I do have one major gripe with it, and especially with its gotcha mechanics.
Yeah, what is it?
Okay, so you know how the dragons have a similar type of progression system as of servants in Fate Grand Order, where you have to like unbind them so they have higher levels?
Yeah, I know that. What about it?
Yeah, well, with the dragons, the way that you unbind or ascend or boost level cap is by merging them with another one of the same exact dragon.
Right.
Now, this seems fine until you realize this is the same exact case with the 5-stars. A 5-star dragon's level cap is level 20 until you unbind it, meaning that you have to pull five 5-stars to get a maxed out level 5 dragon.
I haven't run into that problem.
We've already I'm sorry. We already established that stars equal rarity, right?
Yeah.
Oh, that sounds fun.
Yeah.
Honestly, it's like you do get some mercy because there's an alternative system for like the plotline dragons that's not as annoying, but I can imagine that getting annoying for like the summoned dragons that I haven't used.
Well, because the plotline dragons are only 4-star.
Only 4-star.
Well, what I'm talking about, like, okay, so I'm specifically talking here with the 5-star dragons, because at this point, the only realistic 5-star dragon that you'll be able to get maxed out is the event dragon Pele, because you can assuming that you put all your time and soul into the raid battles, you can assumedly, and if you're lucky enough, you can assumedly pull 5 of them from the special gacha that's exclusive to the events.
We're diving deeper into the rabbit hole now.
Yeah, okay, so Fake Grand Order has similar things. It's basically a lottery. You have a lottery of items that you can reset.
Yeah.
So if you pull Pele, you can pull him, get the special card from it, so you can be stronger against the boss. Reset. But there's I think 200, 300 items in that set, and you can only pull 10 at a time, and you have to keep fighting the raid boss. And assuming that you have a team good enough to beat it consistently. Yeah.
Beat it.
If you want to level 80 dragon, you're gonna want to just hope to God that you can at least get 5 of the same 3-star dragons, because heroes, dragons, and worm prints, which are the
they're
card
like craft
boost thing.
essences.
Yeah, they're the craft essence of the game. They're all in the same gotcha thing, and you can get duplicates of each thing. And when it comes to heroes, if you get a duplicate hero, as I said earlier, you don't get another of that hero. You just get Eldwater, which is kind of shitty. Because yes,
Wait,
you get Eldwater
I thought this Eldwater was a good thing, though.
It is, but there's other ways to get there's other ways to get Eldwater. You don't need to get it through the gotcha mechanics.
Oh.
I mean, I'm
then shit on me.
I'm personally okay with like getting Eldwater instead. I just wish like they didn't all share the same gacha.
And that's the thing. If they had 3 separate gachas, or if it was just the heroes and the dragons and there was like a worm print gacha, I would have been a lot more fine with it.
I mean, like, Fate Grand Order has the exact same problem where, like, you're expecting to get, like, a 4-star hero from that, but then it's a 4-star craft essence.
Mm-hmm. And granted, I feel like, this might just be my experience, I feel like the rates of heroes and dragons are a bit higher in Dragalia Lost.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they list the rates, and they're definitely higher than I'm used to.
There's also a larger pool of heroes right away, so it's a lot more reasonable to get a 5-star. Because I've got 3 5-star heroes right now.
I've got like.
Well, it sounds like you're just set then.
Yeah, but I also have notoriously good luck with gacha games. I've got like I've got too many 5-stars and 4-stars in Fake Grand Order. I can't keep up with leveling them all up.
Oh, the horror!
First world problems.
So, are you done humble bragging?
Yeah, I am done humble bragging. I forgot who I was talking to. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
It's okay.
I feel a little bit left out of the meme here.
Okay, GD can explain the meme.
Okay, so the meme is like, so I guess we're talking Fake Grand Order now for a bit. So Fake Grand Order has like notoriously poor gacha rates even for gacha games. I think in most gacha games the chance of rolling a 5-star is 3%, right?
Okay.
Like, that's pretty low. So we can accept that. But in Fate Grand Order, the chance of rolling a 5-star, which is 1%, and listen here, if you do get a 5-star, it might be like a useless 5-star item that you don't want to use instead of a servant that you want.
Oh. I'm assuming like a 5-star item would be like a 1-use nuke.
Well, no, it's like these things you equip onto your heroes, but like they're nowhere near as useful.
No.
They're nowhere near as useful as compared to
having an actual new character.
Yeah.
Oh.
The only time they're useful is when they're event exclusive ones that help you get items for events.
I think that if we go deeper into that rabbit hole, Tar won't even be able to pretend he understands what we're talking about.
Yeah.
You're already there!
It's like, if you're not... It's like, at this point, I've got Stockholm Syndrome with Fake Grand Order.
I mean, I'm just waiting for... I've just developed this other thing where instead I get unreasonably attached to the lower star servants and love them instead because they're the only ones who accept me.
Well, I mean, it kind of sounds like that's the way to go.
Yeah. Thankfully, with Fake Grand Order, you can get away with 3 and 4 stars for the majority of the game.
Yeah.
3 and 4 stars? No. We're taking that 1 star all the way to the fucking bank.
I'm unironically using a 2-star throughout Grand Order, whose Trybien would realize how good he is. It's Hans.
No, I still use Hans. I still use Hans on my party.
Hans is like he's like, okay, so do you know who Hans Christian Andersen is? He wrote The Little Mermaid.
Okay.
And The Little Match Girl. So like, the real life author was like this older gentleman who, I think he's Danish. He wrote like all of these children's stories with really depressing endings. So in Fate Grand Order, you get like this guy who looks like a kid, but he has like an extremely deep voice of an older gentleman, and he's like extremely cynical and like very judgmental, and that's one of the best healers you can get for
Sounds
lower
about right.
stars.
Well, because he has great heals, great buffs, and he keeps your team costs very low. Like, especially when you're using a team of 4 and 5 stars, you'll be, or if you want to use a bunch of high-leveled craft essence, he's a great way to keep your get them all in.
This team cost thing, is that kind of like duelist level in Reshef of Destruction? Yes, I'm bringing that back up because this is going to be a new meme. Yes. I am going to force it.
What Reshef of Destruction is that Yu-Gi-Oh game that basically cheats against you, isn't it?
Yes, it is. we spent the first 2/3 of episode 7 bitching about it.
And I was just sitting there being like, I've never played this game. I'm glad I've never played it.
I've played. You want to talk about Yu-Gi-Oh games now? I guess.
I mean, are we? Did I accidentally ruin the cast?
No,
it's a tangent cast. Just go for it.
I mean, like, I think I played this other Yu-Gi-Oh game for the Game Boy Advance that had like a similar structure, but I forget like what the game title was.
Maybe it was Sacred Cards?
Yes, that was it. It had like the same format where you're that same generic protagonist. And actually, why don't you play as Yugi in those games?
Because Yugi has to be a person you can duel.
Why do you have to be this loser?
Yeah.
I mean, technically Yugi can duel Yugi if you consider Yugi and the Pharaoh to be different people.
Shh! Yu-Gi-Oh! Spoilers from over a decade ago.
Honestly, like, I haven't seen Yu-Gi-Oh! In so much time that I basically just rely on the abridged series for memories now.
Yeah. I am currently watching Yu-Gi-Oh! Vrains, help me, please. It's so dull.
Dull? Okay,
wait.
Here's what you can do. You can switch to a better anime.
Well, no, but I watch all anime.
You watch all of the...
It's looking that next season the Neospatian archetype is going to be showing back up, so Jaden might be in season 3 of Reigns, and I'm actually kind of interested to see if that's actually happening, because that's what the card game's implying, because they're putting Neospatians.
His name is Judai. His name is Judai.
Yeah, Judah.
I'm going to be the elitist here who tells you not to use the dub names.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, I've watched Arc V dubbed, I'm watching subbed, I'm watching Vrain subbed. I've watched the last season of GX subbed because it was never dubbed because of all the death.
Oh yeah, I remember that. That was like a mess. I wondered what happened. As a kid, I knew.
I quite enjoyed the last season of GX.
However,
my favorite arc my favorite arc of GX is the non-canon manga. That was some good shit.
My favorite GX episode was the one where I'm trying to think of what the most ridiculous one I can think off the top of my head is.
Wasn't there like an entire arc where like all of Judai, whatever, all of his friends were like being hypnotizized? And
oh wait, I remember now. My favorite, the best part of GX was when there was like this guy who was named like Tyranno Hasselberry or something, and he had like this dinosaur-themed deck, and he was like, in his backstory, he got injured, and he was healed using a dinosaur fossil's dinosaur DNA.
That sounds like a recipe for splicing.
I mean, he's basically the GX's Mako Tsunami.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. I'm okay, but like dinosaur DNA just seems like such a huge meme to me that it stands out more.
Wasn't there like one episode where there was that one like fat loon? His name was Chum, right?
Yeah, Chumley.
Chumley. Wasn't his dad a duelist who unironically uses bottles of hot sauce as monster cards?
Yeah.
Yeah, and like Chumley looked like a koala and used koala themed decks.
Yes, I remember that now. I remember the giant koala.
Chumley, hands down, best character in GX.
Honestly, like that was such a weird episode to me as a kid, because like I was like, Chumley's part of the main cast. They're not gonna get rid of him, and then they did.
And he actually made something with his life, unlike the rest of the losers.
I mean, that was just like, I just didn't expect him to leave. Like, yeah. Come on, he's a main character.
Yeah, I mean, Yu-Gi-Oh! Has a weird history with just characters dropping off the face of the planet.
And then coming back.
I mean, yeah, and Arc V, like, because
Rex and Weevil and in fucking Series 1, Season 4.
Yeah, I mean, Arc V has a bunch of dimension hopping bullshit. So there's a lot of characters established as like rivals and important people in the first season, and then they completely disappear for like till the last like 20 so episodes.
I'm starting to feel sad that I'm too busy to watch anime because this sounds amazing.
No, I feel like you'd get a kick out of Arc V, really.
Yeah, but just like the thing is, like I stopped watching Yu-Gi-Oh! Such a long time ago that I have like so many series I'd want to catch up on first.
I know. Well, what's nice about Yu-Gi-Oh! Is that each season's its own thing, except that Arc V has returning characters from previous seasons for fan service reasons.
So something about that actually confuses me, because like ultimately Yu-Gi-Oh! Is supposed to be a kids show, so you'd have like these kids who weren't even born when the previous seasons aired, and they'd be wondering who all of these people were.
And it's kind of like confusing. Like, yeah, I don't know why they do that outside of just fan servicey reasons, because the first arc of Arc V makes it very clear that, hey, this is for kids. The second arc of Arc V is like, yeah, no, fuck you. This is really mature now.
I mean, like
we've got this interdimensional war going on, and we're just gonna...
The original Yu-Gi-Oh! was honestly had like something similar going on, with the Pharaoh starting off like basically evil.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, the original Yu-Gi-Oh! Was always dark from the original manga, and they toned it up for the anime, but that was really just a dub. The Japanese version of the anime had a lot of dark subtext to it. They lightened some things up at the beginning of Zexal, and apparently Zexal got really dark. The first season of Arc V is like I've told people to ask people if they've gone to watch Arc V. Dizzy said that he started to watch Arc V, and he's but he said it betrayed his expectations. It was terrible. I'm like, no, you have to get past like the first 30 episodes for it to actually get dark.
So
and even so, like it drops the ball badly in the last.
So let me ask you how is Yu-Gi-Oh! Connected to the greater Dragalia Lost mythology?
Well, you see, in about a year and a half from now, there's going to be a Yu-Gi-Oh! Crossover with Dragalia Lost.
That makes sense.
I can't believe Konami's relying on Nintendo to save their company.
Where you can, and no joke, summon a 5-star blue eyes white dragon as as a light typed dragon for your party?
I mean, like, I remember. This is going back to Cygames' other games now. Grand Blue Fantasy had legitimately more ridiculous crossovers than that.
Yeah.
Because, like, it had, like, a Love Live crossover, a Detective Conan crossover, a Cardcaptor Sakura crossover. It had... And I'm pretty sure I'm missing a lot more than that.
Okay.
It was silly.
No, Didi, I've got a question for you.
Yeah?
When can I summon Bowser as a dragon?
Okay, so,
You won't be summoning Bowser, you'll be summoning Bowsette.
I was hoping to not make that joke because it would be incredibly unoriginal, and now you ruined it.
Yeah, come on, Tar. That was last week's joke.
And
and no, I did not put it in the thumbnail because people would not watch it on purpose because they knew that we just threw it in the thumbnail. They would start watching it and be like, "This is not Bowsette." And they'd click off.
Okay, true.
It would be the equivalent of me saying, "Hey guys, Sword Art Online Season 3 just aired. I'm gonna throw a picture of it in the thumbnail now."
I mean, like, going back to Bowser, I mean, like, Bowser is, like, he's a very nice dragon who's also, you know, sometimes tries to take over the world, as all nice dragons do. It just happens sometimes, and, so I think, like, his goals would probably conflict a lot with Dragalia Lost's main characters.
No, but but that's only if you're viewing Mario as not the grand stage play like TV show-esque type of universe it actually is, where they're all just not, it's just all an act, where Bowser can come in and be just completely tsundere, like, haha, I'm evil, but yeah, I'll help you out.
I mean, I'm pretty sure that's just literally canon.
Yeah.
At least for the
RPGs. Paper Mario canon pretty much says exactly that.
Yeah.
You ever think, like, Bowser is basically one of the most well-known modern-day tsunderes because he only wants Mario to be his rival, and he gets jealous when other people defeat him.
Yeah. Basically. I feel like if there's a Mario event, there'd be a raid boss battle against Giga Bowser, and you can summon regular Bowser as a dragon summon.
I feel like Bowser wouldn't be able to handle Giga Bowser because he wouldn't be able to fact that there's a threat larger than him, despite the fact that there are always threats larger than him.
Well, the point is, if you have a raid battle where you have 4 teams, that means you can have up to 4 Bowsers attacking Giga Bowser at the same time.
Okay, so...
All the Bowsers just compete with each other to see who can kick the most ass.
And then Bowsette would be the 5-star flame hero.
Of course!
So, what you're saying is that actually, you mentioned 4 Bowsers being on different teams, but, like, here's a new thought for you. What would happen if we had, like, an event with regular Bowser, and then Paper Bowser, and then 2D Bowser, and then alternate Bowser from a timeline where Mario is the villain and Bowser is the hero, and that's the 4 Bowsers.
That is amazing. I'd ship it. It's canon now.
I missed what the second Bowser was.
Paper Bowser.
Okay, sure.
Yeah. Though if they do a Mario crossover, think how out of place Mario would look in Dragalia Lost.
I mean, like, Mario has already had, like, that Puzzle and Dragons crossover game, so I'm like, why not?
Yeah, I mean, but I just feel like because Puzzle and Dragons is more of a puzzle game, you're not actually going to have Mario running around attacking things.
Okay, but okay, so here's the thing about Mario. You can't really implement jumping into Dragalia Lost's combat system, so he'd have to be a hammer axe user guy, and that would just
No,
be kind of weird.
no, Mario would be a fire mage.
Oh, yeah, that
True.
makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
He
Or he
would.
could have a skill where he could have a unique jump skill where he jumps on enemies.
And then if he tries jumping on spiky enemies, you instantly die.
Yeah. Oh my god, imagine jumping on this raid boss. And like not being able to jump off, so you have this infinite jump just going on over and over and over again.
Oh my goodness. It's just like, speaking of Mario crossovers, like, I just remembered the Rabbids one was already more ridiculous.
I know. But at least they all look like cartoony, absurd.
I need to play that game one day because I heard it was surprisingly good.
Yeah, I'd like to play it someday, but I'm not into those types of strategy RPGs. So
Is that because
I'd
you're
probably-
a coward?
Because I am a coward. Fuck you, fight me. But don't please.
I forgot how we went from Dragalia Lost to Mario.
It's because Dragalia Lost is everything.
Dragalia Lost is like
Bowser.
it's the secret to Dragalia Lost is like the secret missing link to connect all of the different Nintendo universes together.
Wait, hang on. So, do you think Nintendo is actually just cashing in on that one thing where it's just like, add and dragons to the title to make anything 900% better?
I almost wonder if it was Cygames that brought the game to Nintendo, or Nintendo that told Cygames to play the game, like what made it deal with them to make the
Honestly,
game.
like I'm guessing that, I mean, meetings are complicated, so it was probably a mix of both.
Yeah.
No, like, seriously, puzzles, and dragons. How can you go wrong?
I'm not the biggest fan of Puzzles and Dragons.
I have some friends who are really into it, so I know it's got a fan base.
Oh wait, no, it's very well made puzzle game. I'm just not into that type of puzzle game, like the Match 3 style.
Is that because you can't summon your precious people to fight for you, and only you?
Well, it's because I can't turn into a fucking dragon.
You're
Why would you understand?
You're too much. Listen. I think that you need to realize that you can't have all of the power. This is what these games are trying to tell you. Puzzles and Dragons is like a very huge morality lesson about the limitations that human society has and how we need to use our brains instead of our bronze.
By the way, considering Puzzles and Dragons had a 3DS game,
Yeah.
how exactly did the gotcha mechanic work in there? Because that's like half the game is summoning monsters to put in.
I'm pretty sure they just removed. So with Nintendo, when they do that kind of thing, because I remember there was a Pokemon game that did a similar thing. I'm pretty sure they removed the in-game payment stuff and instead just do okay, we're gonna adjust stuff so it's more reasonable for people who don't engage in that system.
Yeah.
But why would you ever not engage in that system? Give the gaming companies more of your money.
Okay, whatever you say, Mr. President of Electronic Arts.
Darn, how did you know?
Yep. It was clear from day one.
Damn.
I don't.
I actually have never played any EA games to my knowledge. I don't think.
I've played at a friend's house that has vastly different gaming taste than I have. I haven't minded playing the EA Sports video games, but I've heard that those get really ridiculous with microtransactions in recent years, so I'm not touching those.
Yeah, I used to play some EA Sports games back when I was younger, but
Do you
I
think
was going to
like
say, isn't EA the one with the microtransactions of like $50? But no, that was D2.
um
Oh,
I think
speaking of
like oh, were you gonna say something?
yeah, speaking of microtransactions, I took some time to read the uh, reviews for
Yeah,
Dragalia Lost and the Google
yeah.
Play Store, and I saw quite a few people saying that the game was pay to win. What do you think?
So far no, because like
Like,
I think this is super early into the game's life cycle. I don't know what the game will look like a year or two from now, but like so far it's been like if you if you if you I mean, even if you use just the party members that the story gives you, I think you can get really far and then have enough to summon for to form decent parties of different elemental properties. You know what I mean?
mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, like it's like I I don't want to completely say that it won't ever be pay to win because anything can happen, but I'm
Yeah.
hoping it won't.
Wait, let me turn it this way. In the event, like in this current event, which difficulty level are you currently fighting on?
Standard.
What?
Standard.
No, like the I said the difficulty level for
Yeah,
the
standard.
raid. Oh, standard. Okay, yeah, yeah. I've been playing on standard too. I took a crack at expert,
Uh,
but that's pretty rough.
I think with expert, I maybe if I started playing from literally day one, I'd have a party
Yeah.
that's ready for it. But right now, it's like no.
Well, I think it's the problem with this game isn't that it's pay to win because even if you paid, you wouldn't be
Yeah,
like
you'd
but
still
with
need like some kind of skill because it's not like you can just
yeah
use stats.
yeah like this game is a heavy grind even because every character starts off the same like you can essentially boost up any 3-star character to a 5-star character.
Yeah, it's got like that Fire Emblem Heroes
Hmm.
style to it.
Yeah, it's actually very it's got shares a lot of similarities with Fire Emblem Heroes. With
I hope I don't burn out of it as
yeah
quickly as I did with that game.
yeah
I mean, I love.
yeah
Um, here's a secret for those who don't know. I love Fire Emblem as a franchise. I've got differing opinions on the various games, but I think that with Fire Emblem Heroes, it took too long to add all of this new stuff that would have kept me engaged
yeah.
because, like, literally as soon as I uninstalled it, they added like a ton of different stuff that might have been enough for me to
Uh,
stay.
my wife's still playing it because she just has this she just loves Hector.
Yeah.
But
Oh,
like
Hector.
she loves Hector. She's still trying to pull him. She doesn't like. I think she just only recently pulled
Doesn't
him, and
he
she's like,
have
"Oh, I'll
like
just finish the story."
Doesn't he have like a few different versions by now? How has she
Yeah,
not pulled some version of him?
no, she will pull every other 5-star but Hector.
But I got Marth early, so I was happy.
Yeah, no, but apparently the story has just gone incredibly downhill from the
I mean,
start.
it was already downhill,
Yeah, I was already
honestly.
down. Like, I think in comparison to Dragalia Lost, what I think works with Dragalia Lost is that it's its own original story where, um,
The thing about sorry, can I take over?
yeah, you can take over.
Okay, so the thing about Dragalia Lost is like I think the main story it does have like this common thing with these mobile games where occasionally it'll just stop and go and then suddenly enemies attacked and then you can continue the story after doing that, but
Hmm.
it's so far it's been a lot less bad than other mobile games. Like I love a lot of Fate Grand Order's later chapters, but it still does that stuff. And I feel like with Dragalia Lost, if they wanted to put the same story in like a a retail game, they could do that with very few edits.
Yeah, I think what works with Dragalia Lost is how they pace the story out. Like
Yeah.
they don't. So something like Fake Grand Order and Fire Emblem, it's like before each fight, the characters need to say something or they need to have a little bit of a quip. Where with Dragalia Lost, it's like, nah, we'll just have you do some fights. There's a story bit. Maybe before an important boss battle, there'll be some talk or whatever. But it doesn't force conversations in where it's not necessary all the time.
Oh, by the way, you still need to add me as your friend on the game, because otherwise our friendship isn't real.
Yeah, I need to do that. God damn it,
Since Tar doesn't have the game installed at all, we can never form a connection.
Damn, that sucks.
Yeah, I need to delete some friends on here so I can make room for you. Because since I've got 5-star, that's good for the event. People just keep sending me friend requests. Speaking of friends, comparing this to Fake Grand Order, have you noticed any benefit for friends using your team? Because
if for friends using them,
because in Fake Grand Order and similar gacha games, you get something like friend points for your friends using your party member, like using your support members.
There might be a system there that I just don't know about, but so far it's been like, it's mostly been like, what can they do for me?
Yeah, see, and that's something I have issue with, because it completely de-incentivizes you from friending people who don't have strong like support.
I mean, like, if you've got like a sense of morality, you will accept the lower level friends who just want your help try.
Oh yeah, no, here's the thing. I've got the sense of morality where I will do it, and if they haven't played the game for a few days, I'm going to remove their friend request because they're taking up a space.
Yeah.
But
that makes sense.
Eventually you run out of friend space, because you have people who also have stronger people sending you friend requests too, and it's this weird cycle where I feel if there was some reward for people using your supports, then it would better incentivize people to friend said supports. Because, so, for those who don't know, when you have a support, you can use someone's special that special skill during the fight, during the round.
We're back at the point where Tar is confused.
Yeah. So you can use your special skill.
I'm just trying to absorb shit through osmosis.
Yeah.
If you can if you're friends with them, you can use your skill 3 times, which can make a big difference against the boss or in a tight situation, especially in later chapters.
I like when they set it as a healing person. That's good.
That's really good. Yeah.
So
right now, I don't need to worry.
I guess
too much healing, but imagine if you have a strong healing person and you can use that healing spell 3 times throughout the round.
Yeah, and considering how short Dragalia Lost stages are so far, that's usually enough.
Yeah.
I was gonna say only 3.
Yeah, it's like Dragalia Lost is a game where, okay, here's actually another nitpick I have with the video game that might turn into a major complaint later. Your allies and their AI do not know how to dodge anything.
Yeah.
Oh.
Except for stage hazards, they'll always dodge around stage hazards, unless it's like poison puddles or something.
So there are ways to minimize that, but it is a bit. I do wish that. I think the intent is because there are ways for you to play co-op online and do quests that way, and I think it's to incentivize that. But it's I don't want to do that a lot of the time. I want to play by myself.
Well, especially if you're doing the story stuff. If I'm doing grinding quests, I don't mind doing co-op stuff.
Yeah.
But if I'm doing the story stuff, I want to play by myself.
Yeah.
Because especially another thing that really breaks co-op and makes everything much easier is the fact that when you're playing solo player, only you can turn into a dragon and your entire party shares a bar. When you're playing co-op, every player has their own dragon and own bar, and they can everybody can turn into a dragon at any point.
Plus, everyone presumably has a brain cell or two to rub together, so they're smarter than the AI.
Yeah. I can't tell you how like cathartic it is when I'm doing the daily like grind quest for like training equipment. Oh,
Yeah.
whatever. What was it called again? Anyways, there's one quest that you get like EXP stuff from.
Yeah.
Every single time I play, when we get to the last wave of enemies,
Everyone
just
turns
goes
into a dragon.
and it's over in an instant because the act of turning into a dragon just does damage. So when you have all 4 people in an area together turning into a dragon, most enemies are dead on the spot.
Yeah.
Blarg.
It's like I think like the way to improve all of this stuff for me with regards to the allied AI is maybe to, I don't know, I don't want to say just improve it because that's not a real solution. I don't know how this stuff works, but I do want them to like organize the stages in a way that accounts for the fact that a lot of people are going to be playing with AI.
Yeah, it's part of it is that the stages are very hallway orientated. That work fine when you're playing like with single people single player or playing co-op, but because it's so narrow, there's nowhere for the AI to really know where to go.
My favorite part of the AI is when when a healer gives healing at an entirely inappropriate time.
Yeah, especially
Such as when you just stepped on a thumbtack.
Yep. Well, especially considering that since healing is a skill, and the only way to build up the skill gauges is by attacking enemies. So, if let's say this is like right before a boss, or if it's an enemy who like a person who isn't too strong or doesn't have that much left, or you don't really want them in combat, if they use the HP or the healing at the wrong time, you're essentially not going to get any more healing from them for the rest of the round.
Ooh.
Yeah, so I do want to make it clear that like we've been complaining a lot about nitpicks and stuff about the game, but I'm still having fun with it. I'll probably stick with it for a while.
Oh yeah, no, I can definitely see myself playing more of this. I've actually been playing this more than I've been playing Fake Grand Order recently.
Oh
but
yeah,
considering that's just a revival event.
I felt a bit bad. Yeah, I felt a bit bad because I saw like the revival event, and I'm like, I still like Fake Grand Order, but it's like this. I'd rather be doing the new stuff.
It's like the new stuff's fun, but it's also good to be able to take a bit of a break from it because with the revival events.
Yeah.
Because it's been a grind with all the events they've been throwing at us. There's always some new event going on.
So I think like
More events are good. More events keep the game fresh.
It keeps
it
actually
does,
no, because it does, but it doesn't because you don't get any break.
There needs to be like a decent period of time where you can just you don't have anything pressing to do. You can just like
and just faff around.
Like you can just do daily quests if you want, or otherwise not play as much. You have a social life, don't you?
Yeah.
No.
Okay, so Tar, the average person has a social life, right?
Okay, sure.
Tar and I aren't the average people.
Okay, so
we're sub
then
average.
What is this podcast then?
It's an attempt at being quote unquote sociable, so we don't go crazy.
Proof that we are sub average.
What am I going to tell people when I say that I was on this podcast?
So I have something so I have something to point to when I die to say that I did that.
Pretty much.
Anyway, just just to make a point about the events in Fate Grand Order, it's not that it's bad that there's a lot of events. It's that the events expect you to put the maximum amount of time to get the most reward out of them.
Actually, we've been dancing around it for a while, but here's like the difference between a game like Dragalia Lost and a game like Fate Grand Order. So Dragalia Lost had like it's not quite a worldwide release because there are a bunch of regions that don't have it, but basically Japan got it at the same time, North America got it at the same time, so we've been able to do the events at the same clip, but like Fate Grand Order wasn't translated until like extremely deep into the story for the Japanese players, so we've been having to play catch up with the events, and it's been like an onslaught of them.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. It's been really like the start of the game wasn't this bad. There was like a few events at the very start. It was mainly just, oh hey, there's story stuff. Do the story stuff for a few months, and then
there was like this. It's weird because like at the very beginning there was like this drought of stuff to do, and now there's too much.
It's like you could have spaced it out a bit better with better planning.
I don't want to badmouth the team too much because I don't know what's going on there, but it is a bit like it is a bit weird.
Okay. Any product can always do with some better planning. It doesn't matter what's going on with it. Like this is nothing against the Fate Grand Order. I feel like Dragalia Lost there's some things it could have had better planning with.
Yeah,
but by the nature of the like production cycle, there's always going to be things that slip through the cracks.
Yeah. So basically this is me saying so when's the Fate Grand Order Dragalia Lost collab event?
I would play the hell out of that. Like if they had like events going on in both games at the same time, but of course we wouldn't get it. It'd be completely off for North America because the Japanese would be getting the event first, and then we'd be getting it years later while the
I'm just imagining like Shielder in Dragalia Lost combat system.
Dude, oh my god. Dude, that'd be sick as fuck. Imagine just like one of those random ass dragons from Fate Grand Order, like being a 3-star dragon in
DL.
I guess actually Shielder would be tough to do because of her weapon, so it would probably be like Arturia or someone else.
Yeah, you might get Archer, with who doesn't actually use Arch, who's not really uses any archery tools.
The Archer class really is made up of people who can just throw shit.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
My favorite
Archer is a good boy.
My favorite Archer is Nikola Tesla, who just summons lightning bolts down on people.
Yeah, he's pretty good. My favorite Archer is the guy who actually uses a bow and arrow.
Yeah. Are we talking about David?
No, like
Arash?
Robin
Arash?
Hood.
Robin Hood's a good boy.
I don't actually know who my favorite is. That was just like the first guy I thought of who actually used a bow and arrow.
Doesn't Arash use?
Yeah, he does. Arash is a 1-star servant who can actually be used.
Oh yeah. And then fuck.
Tar, let me tell you something about the 1-star servant who actually has utility. You see, this guy Arash, he's like, his main purpose in combat is to use his special technique, which kills him. And
what does he get for killing himself?
I mean, it's like he does a ton of damage to the enemies. It's like a sacrifice attack.
It's like so it's explosion in Pokemon.
Yeah, basically.
And if you buff him up, it can be pretty useful.
And that's what it takes for a 1-star to be useful.
Yeah.
Literal suicide.
I mean, I don't want to say that, but it does take like self-destruction.
That's fate in a nutshell. That's fate in a nutshell.
I'm gonna throw in a plug for one of the recent Good Fate boys in Camelot. It's Bedivere. Mm-hmm. He's good.
Bedivere is so. Oh my god, Bedivere is fucking best boy. Oh my god.
Now
Can
Tar
we
will
just,
be
like, have
even more lost.
Can we just have a Bedivere cast?
Please,
just
no.
put his face on, like, just replace the
Hey.
thumbnail with his face.
Hey, Camelot's getting an anime adaptation, so maybe Tar can watch that.
He'll be horribly lost.
Yeah, he would be. Well, I don't get why they're just like. I get they're like it's for the fans, but like
I mean, to be fair, Camelot is like the first chapter where I'd say like there's a ton of breathing room for characterization and stuff.
it's gonna be really awkward to see animated though because it's almost
Yeah,
there's almost so much character stuff going on.
I mean,
and,
like,
so little actual plot that happens
I mean,
as opposed
like,
to some of the other ones.
you know, there's it won't be as awkward as like so going back to another Fate thing, there's the original Fate Stay Night had 3 separate routes, right?
Yeah.
And for the longest time, one of the routes, Unlimited Blade Works, which is a very long route that you take like dozens of hours to clear. The only adaptation it originally had was like this extremely fast movie that didn't cover anything.
That was my first foray into Fate because I didn't realize what it was.
I'm so sorry.
I know. I was so lost. And I got spoiled on the most interesting twist because I watched that without understanding anything that was going on.
I mean, we all know that the best Fate-related thing is the cooking spin-off anyway.
I still need to watch that. I still need to watch that.
Which actually exists in case Tar thinks I'm joking.
It's real.
I believe you.
It's on Crunchyroll. Why haven't I watched it yet?
It's probably because it's like a short.
Well, no, that's even less of an.
Yeah, the episodes are half length. The episodes are like half length, and it only updates monthly. So you probably think, I'll get to it at some point, and then you keep forgetting.
I'll actually probably wait till it's all completely done.
Does it have an ending, or is it going to go on forever?
I actually haven't considered that.
Does this podcast have an ending, or will it go on forever?
Well, yeah, in about 16 more minutes.
Hot damn. Well, I just meant like as a collective, not this episode.
Oh, I mean, he'll definitely. I mean, this world will end at some point, so.
I mean, like, the thing about podcasts is like, the only time that they really have a final episode is if it's something like that. If it's like something like a Dungeons and Dragons role-playing thing or some other type of show. You know?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, because we can always, like, if we ever have a final episode, we can always revive it at some point.
Yeah.
Where anything that's story-related will always have an end.
I personally love the Landfill storyline. It's very in-depth.
Yeah.
What's been your favorite part of it so far, GD?
My favorite part of it is how you got me for the 9th episode instead of the 10th, which would have been special.
Well, don't worry, we'll get you for the 10th episode too.
I mean, I might be busy. I don't know.
We'll make it happen. Next episode will be the Fate cast, where we just bullshit about Fate all week.
Oh, glorious!
Should
I just not even show up?
The best way to do a Fate cast with Tar involved is to legitimately make stuff up about Fate and see how long it takes for Tar to catch up and realize that we're lying.
and when we start, and now that we brought that up, when we start talking about Fate, he won't know if we're doing that or if we're being sincere.
Yeah, it's like next level trolling.
I know.
What did I do to deserve this?
How does he know that we're telling the truth about Fate right now? Or Dragalia Lost?
Actually, Dragalia Lost is a card game.
It doesn't even have a mobile port yet. It's slated for this November.
Yeah, I've been playing it on my BlackBerry phone.
No, if we do a Fate cast, we gotta play Fate Grand Order the entire time and just be mindlessly talking to each other while playing it.
Actually, Dragalia Lost is only on the Wonder Swan.
Isn't Fate Grand Order for the Ouya?
The Ouya isn't even for the Ouya. That thing faded into obscurity so quickly.
I wouldn't be surprised if there's a fake Grand Order port onto the Ouya. You
could. I mean, yeah. Doesn't it already have access to the App Store? You could probably force it.
Yeah. Yeah, I can definitely see that.
I can't believe I memed this thing into existence.
Oh my god! Imagine a fake Grand Order on like a big screen TV.
Imagine fake Grand Order on a big screen TV, and it's like one of the joke events, and people walk in and wonder what you're playing.
Oh man!
Imagine if it was like the Magical Girl event.
Oh my god! Or the Gura Gura Hanoji event.
Yeah. I still use Nobunaga.
Yeah, I would, but I've got like to get him up to like level 80 still.
Yeah. So, Tar.
Yo.
Without looking anyone up, who's your favorite Fate character?
My favorite Fate character is Sarah Debray.
Who? Oh, I get it now. Who?
I need to make a Fate roleplay post still.
So,
I'm sorry.
So, is there anything else either of you two wanted to bring up on this lovely, lovely podcast?
Yes, Tar, so are you convinced to play Dragalia Lost yet?
He's not.
You can turn into a dragon!
Tar,
yes,
what you want to do is, okay, you see this rabbit hole, right? Okay,
yes.
So you have two options, okay?
Okay.
Okay,
what are my two options?
I want you to imagine that Try and I are on either side of you, and we're looking down into this rabbit hole, right?
Okay.
Okay, so your two options are, like, we're going to start pushing you into the rabbit hole, and your two options are either go in there willingly, or you escape and never talk to us ever again.
Well, I know, the two options are to go in willingly, or go in crying.
Okay, but, like, what if I have ankle weights?
It's only going to make the fall harder. You're going to crash even harder.
What's the number of people who will understand this entire episode?
Probably max 3.
You're implying that's greater than our number of viewers. You're implying that's not greater than our number of viewers.
I'm implying that's not greater than the 3 of us talking right now.
I mean, like, so that's the history of the game industry, I guess.
The entire history of the game.
And this has been Bros in a Landfill. Thank you for watching, you lovely little folks. And be strong, turn into dragons, and friend me on Dragalia Lost, even though I won't put my friend code in the description.
Signing off.
They didn't instruct me what to do at this part, so bye then,
Okay,
toodles.
Bye.